Yeah, welcome back to your go-to legal talk show. This is Low in the Neighborhood at Shine FM 99.9, home of urban music. Yeah, but thank you so much, Shine FM, maze. Yeah, penda Shine FM sana. Yeah, we really appreciate. Yeah, tumerudi na this is Legal Curiosity. Nyiha, sijui leo ukikuwa kwenye pilika. Leo sijui kona yapi. What do you have today for us?
Kila siku sana nitakuwa nawapea backstory ya place nilitoa hii fun fact yangu.
Unatuambia background.
Yeah, so I was watching a show, a drama show or something. I don't really know what to call it. A Netflix series. Young, famous, African, rich. Sijui, wanakuanga
inajitanga hivyo.
Young, famous, rich and African. Ama sijui.
Something similar to that. Something of the sort.
Yeah, so when I was watching, there's this particular Nigerian star called, she's an actress, Ini Edo. Ini Edo, she's called Ini Edo. She talked about her being a surrogate parent. She got her daughter through surrogacy. Her child, not a child, because I wasn't really following up the gender of the child, but she got her child through surrogacy. And there was also this, one of the actors in the show. Sasa, juu anasemanga ni reality show au ni actors kweli? Wacha niseme tu participants.
Reality show ni actors kweli.
There was this guy called, I can't even remember his name, but he also had a sort of obsession with surrogacy. And you know, children, when it comes to children, it's a very sensitive matter.
Very sensitive.
Because adi venye atalelewa, it will determine the kind of person you become in the future. And nini things can affect you, like your upbringing affects you a lot. And what if people take children, like, you know, people are so wicked. You take a surrogate, you obtain a child through surrogacy for your own wicked reasons. May it be your predatory tendencies or for trafficking. It's something we can't go without acknowledging. So this brought me to think, is there any law governing tapi people who want to get children through surrogacy? We must also acknowledge that there are people who have no other choice but this. May it be infertility, others have chronic health conditions. There are very many factors that can lead to it. We dealt with adoption, and we saw there's somewhat a framework that
for adoption
that covers that. And also, so I also read a case, JLN versus the Commissioner of Children. And in this case, there are issues of 2014, the Director of Children Services. And this issue, you find that one of the interested parties was the Kenyan National Human Rights Commission. Because there are certain issues that come regarding the violation of constitutional rights. For example, is this surrogacy a form of modern day slavery in this particular sense? You're paying this, there's commercial surrogacy. Is that person selling their child? There are two types of surrogacy might I start. There's commercial surrogacy. This is where your expenses are not only catered for when you have the child. Also, after giving the child to the surrogate parents, you get a form of compensation. Like, there are people who even like do that for work. You just that's literally your work. So how do you describe your work? Are you like selling, like, I don't know,
are you selling your womb?
Are you selling the because now the children is the product.
I'll respond to that. I think I have, when you mentioned about this case, I was so happy to,
like, is that a form of modern slavery, which is contrary to Article 30 of our Constitution? Also, does this violate the right to human dignity of the child, both of the child and both, to some extent, of the surrogate parents? There's also the issue of right to privacy, where the medical history, the nini can be disclosed to another party, because you know, kama the parents, when you're choosing someone to become your surrogate, you need to know
the background and za
the
kuzalia
health
mwenda wazimu
background.
ama si genetic
Unasema nini we?
ama
Like,
kupe
but
dwarf
sasa it brings the issue is leaking someone's medical. There is that
Records.
constitutional aspect of it. There's also a lot of questions being raised. For example, Section 10 of the Births and Deaths Registration Act of Kenya, it says that during the birth of a child, the particulars of the child should be registered in the certificate, for the birth certificate. So kuna slot ya parent. Who will
Is the
be
real
written
parent.
as the parent of the
Yeah.
child? When you go to Section 2 of the Children's Act, kwa the interpretation, they define a parent. But they define a parent, foster parent, guardian, but hakuna any definition and ina satisfy for a surrogate parent. So that leaves a loophole. And it brings us to the question. When I delved further, I found that there's actually an agency in Kenya called New Life, which does commercial surrogacy. Are they in contrary
The
violation to the law, to the constitution? Are they violating the law? Are there any provisions that actually have anything to say against surrogacy? Because this is not a particular area which is covered for. But I found that in 2019 there was a proposed bill for assisted reproductive, it was called, assisted reproductive something. It was to deal with parts of surrogacy, and it was to restrict surrogacy to married couples only. Because pia for the New Life, when you go and look at their website, they state people who are even of the same gender who want to get a child can opt.
It's in Kenya.
Yeah, it's in
and
Kenya.
saying that,
You can go and check. I'm not even
don't
capping.
you think that's so it's in violation?
Violation of?
As in, okay, I'm not one of the reasons as to why surrogacy is there, number one, it's to aid those who are not fertile, or they cannot give viable kids.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But also, international community recognize LGBTQ.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the reasons why surrogacy exists.
Is there, yeah.
Now, Nyiha, let me give you a few background of why I really love this topic of surrogacy. There is one of my default documentaries that I watch. There's this lady called Mariana. She does documentary named Trafficked. Now, this year she released a documentary, and guess what? Ilikuwa shot in Kenya. So it was about surrogacy. So Nyiha, did you know that in Kenya, surrogacy, it's a business that is booming?
Yes.
But it is not benefiting
Kenya.
the actual people, but it's benefiting. We have the pimps. So the pimps, the sex pimps.
Literally.
Yeah. So I was seeing this lady investigate, and I saw we have a couple of sex pimps, and they own these ladies, to be honest. They own them because you're working for me. As in, you're the one munafanya hizo vitu zote, but I'm the one who pays you. So there's this lady who links surrogate mothers in Kenya to outside, I think those US, those other countries, I can't really remember. So there's one in particular who this lady interviewed, and she was like, I was taken into surrogacy. I was never compensated. I was under care, leave alone under care. Literally wanafungiwa kwa nyumba, Nyiha. There's a house.
Very bad conditions.
Yeah, there's a house you can't get out. I saw that and I was so pissed because that's not basic humanity.
I think
I literally own you because you have my baby. I literally own you. I dictate what you're supposed to eat. I dictate where you're supposed to be. And you know what? Pesa si mimi nitakutumia. I'll send it to your agent, and your agent will choose whether to give it to you or not. So it was so frustrating because I saw a couple of ladies going through that in that documentary. I also saw it is just benefiting few people, but not the actual surrogates.
who are in need of.
It is so sad, man. It is
I
so
think the government should now, particularly the parliament,
Enact
should now enact
bill,
legislation
right.
because something to deal with children, haifai kuachwa na that many loopholes.
Yeah.
Because actually, when you come to think of it, there are people who are really suffering, who are really going through it, and instead of them being benefited by the process, sasa, and they also need to address the constitutional issues. Juu ukweli, when you come to think of it, juu sasa kama huyo mwenye adi you have a pimp, na you even label it as a business,
Yeah.
you lose the essence kabisa, and it's giving modern day slavery.
Yeah, it is.
Which is very contrary to the constitution.
In Belgium, I'm not sure if it's in Belgium, but surrogacy was banned. Is it in Belgium or UK?
Surrogacy, actually, it is allowed in very few countries.
Yeah.
Adi in the UK, it's
It
not.
is. I think I'm not sure if it's UK or
it's
Belgium.
altruistic surrogacy. That means that is where you're only compensated for. They only take care of your expenses for the 9 months, and it's reasonable. They even track. I was reading a case where this person, they were slightly reimbursed for, like, that money didn't add up for the expenses within the 9 months, and they were actually in violation. They were charged now with trafficking, slavery, nini. They are actually very strict on that particular issue. Na ukiona countries hizo Colombia zenye zinakuanga na manini, zenye ziko na very sketchy framework, that is where such practices are going on, and it's very oppressive to even both a woman. I can't imagine what it is. You demean a woman's womb to be a tool of business. It's a very sad state of affairs.
In Belgium, they are saying it's not Italy. Yeah, Italy.
Yeah,
Italy. Yeah, it's Italy.
Was banned.
It's Italy. So in Italy, it is dominated by Catholic, and the reason behind banning that was like, why are you making uterus as a tool of business?
Yeah.
There you just put it. In Italy, it's actually in Italy. In Italy, surrogacy was banned. Hiyo Belgium ilikuanga ya prostitute being allowed to be. So I was confusing the two. But in Italy, surrogacy was banned last year. I think in December. They did away with surrogacy. At least for them, they have recognized. But in Kenya, I've not actually seen a proper framework that surrounds surrogacy.
Sketchy.
It is very vague. There's no. If I check you in court sahi about surrogacy stuff, I think it will be so hard. Itakuwa one of.
It depends on how you argue your case. Basically,
But itakuwa a very
the outcome.
Itakuwa precedent, but we've not had a proper framework around that.
Yeah.
And as I talk about surrogacy today, I'm just there talking to those ladies wenye wako mtaani, and they might be preyed upon. Utakujiwa and you'll be told it's so much, kuna pesa mingi, you'll be promised so much. You'll be promised to stay in a nice house. It's not nice, bro. It's not nice for your freedom to be taken away. So as you do your decision making about surrogacy, just know in Kenya there's a proper legal framework, and especially William Twakomtani. You might not have enough money to afford an advocate who will represent you well in a court. So I won't advise people to actually opt for surrogacy. It's a lot, Nyiha. It's a lot. Me, Mr. Advice, if you think...
But, Sasa, you can't... That is a very sensitive matter. I
know, but
being opined...
Based on what I saw, I won't.
But, there are people who also, take good care. And there are also people with good intentions. Just imagine, for example, this particular JLN case, when you read it, unasikia tu the uchungu of someone wanting to become a mother and you can't. This is your only last option. It was a very disheartening case. So I think we should just recognize the need of actually the surrogacy procedure, but kunafaa kuwa na an outlined framework
of the whole thing
to even govern, because where there is no law, there's a very big leeway for chaos to thrive.
Do you know, I was actually seeing there's a doctor in particular, I won't mention the hospital, but that lady, I think alikuwa namhoji that doctor who does the implantation, sasa the after fertilization process. So it was so sad kuona hivyo. So I'll agree with you. The kitu nanifanya niseme I won't advise ladies to do that because of this intermediary person, because of this link between you. If I'm opting for surrogacy, it means I'm not in a position to have a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm opting for that kid, but I can't. Lakini huyu hapa link huyu, that's the problem. So that's why I'm advising
they should just do their due diligence.
Yeah.
And you know, a woman's body, you reserve all the rights on what to do with your body.
Yeah.
So being opined, you nayo sasa itanileta kwa my feminism talk, which you're not ready for. So people
So what
should
do
just
what do you
take
think?
care. I think there is need for surrogacy, particularly.
I see a dispute to you.
And I wouldn't tell you whether to engage or not engage. That is not my position.
Mi nitakwambia tu ukiona a pimp and juu utaumia.
Sasa hiyo ya pimp, that's something else. But if you're like, you'll just figure a way. When sasa the legislation is in place, you know, now you can even maybe get a certified agency like to do the even there's paperwork involved and stuff. Yeah. So I think that will be it for our show today. Leo ni mimi nawarapia up.
Malizia. Mimi nimejitoa. Malizia.
So it was a very nice show. Now to all our viewers, we really appreciate you engaging with our content. You're the ones who fuel us to come here every day, to prepare ourselves, do our research, to come and present this to you. So shout out to all our viewers, to all our subscribers. We appreciate and we thank you so much. I'm gonna shout out to our viewers, our subscribers. You are doing you what Daystar for hosting us and allowing us to use this particular space, and Shine FM.
Formerly Daystar.
Formerly Daystar. By the way,
formerly Daystar. Daystar School of Law, not just Daystar. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Now, penda sana. See you next time when you see us.